Zoom, motherfucker! Zoom!
Who can make the sun die? Drizzle it with you. Cover it with blood and a severed head or two. The Candyman. The Candyman.
The Candyman can.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. Well, it's the last day of Nostalgia Ween. You know what that means. It's Stephen King time! Boy, do I have a crazy one for you today. It's the mini-series of Stephen King's laundry list. Yep, years ago Stephen King said if he published his laundry list, fans would buy it. He did, and there's a mini-series of it now. We're talking hours dedicated to how the washer works, and how the dryer works, and the dialogue-heavy backstory about his socks. And I feel like I'm scraping bottom of the barrel here. I mean, for several Nostalgia Weens, I've talked about a Stephen King property, and I love doing it, but I feel like for the moment I've talked about all the ones I want to talk about. So I asked online if people want me to keep doing them, which I'd be totally fine with, or if they want me to do them only when I was passionate about talking about one. Overwhelmingly, people chose the latter, so I think I'm gonna give it a break for a little bit and make room for some other Halloween oddness that may deserve some attention too. With that said, what the hell is this? In 1998, McDonald's released a VHS series called The Wacky World of Ronald McDonald. There were 6 altogether, and seeing how I was about 17 at the time, this didn't really pique my interest. 42, on the other hand, of course I'm all over this. It's no secret McDonald's went out of their way in the 80s and 90s to market their restaurant in a similar way Disney marketed their theme parks. They had kid-friendly characters with personalities, magical lands. They even tried creating sentimental moments. And I know this is all to sell happy-faced artery cloggers, but for the 30-second spots they had, I think they did a decent job. Many of us still remember Grimace, Birdie, Hamburglar, this permanent resident in my night terrors. So it's not surprising they tried telling actual stories at some point. They didn't mess around either. They got one of the most popular animation studios at the time, Crítico, the folks who made hits like Rugrats, Wild Thornberrys, Ah Real Monsters, and my personal favorite, Duckman. The series sold like, well, hotcakes, as many locations quickly ran out of VHSs. Since then, it's gathered a lot of popularity, with their Halloween special Scared Silly ranking over 70 million views on YouTube. Sweet Jesus, what's in this special? The secret meat they use for the chicken McNuggets?
These people!
Well, for a long time, people have been asking me to look this over, so on the last day of Nostalgia Ween, I'm gonna do exactly that. Let's travel to a world where anything is possible as long as you
Don't touch Grimace.
Let's take a look at the wacky adventures of Ronald McDonald, Scared Silly. We open in the often shaky world building of McDonald Land, which sometimes looks like Oz and other times looks like leftover lunchboxes used to hand out with Happy Meals, where we see Ronald McDonald clearly invaded Pee-wee's home while also taking speed as everything is fast-forwarded. No, I mean it. It's like 80% of the live-action stuff is sped up. It's like eternal Benny Hill credits.
Getting even cooler, step into a new beat.
As Jack Debke has my personal favorite version of Ronald McDonald. And believe it or not, only one live-action character was designed by Crítico and not the McDonald Corporation. Can you guess which one it is?
Let's see what's happening first.
Yeah, look at that freak. It's like its parents were Frasier's dog and Boy George. This is Ronald's pet named Sunday. Yeah, even the name of a dog has to advertise something. And he's played by, no joke, Vern Troyer.
The dinosaurs are eating their way through Central Park.
Presumably not the voice. They sit down to watch a scary movie called Attack of the Dinosaurs.
If you hadn't sat on that dinosaur egg, you wouldn't be in this mess.
I did it for science!
I'm gonna use excuse for everything. Critic, I just want to ask you something. No! Oh my god, what is that? Is that a blue thing from the last episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog? I did it for science! Okay. Alright, so you know how I joked if you took out the slow-mo and Passion of the Christ it'd be only 10 minutes long? Well, if you took out the sped-up scenes in this, I'm convinced it'd be 3 hours long. It's fine in a commercial, but it's a little much here. You just walked to a chair. You didn't have to requiem for a dream that.
Oh, hi, Tika. What's up?
Well, it's a really nice day, and
Sweet
winter's
Moses.
right around the corner. So I was wondering if you and the gang might want to go camping together out in Farflung Forest.
Great idea. Fresh air, campfires.
Gotta love how Ronald has his name on the back of his shirt. We wouldn't want anyone to confuse his common look or common wardrobe for anyone else.
So you're up for it?
Oh, sure, Tika.
She invites him on a camping trip and he cheerfully agrees.
Meet us at the car in 5 minutes.
Thanks, Ronald.
Remember, kids, whenever a man in a clown costume tells you that, he can be trusted. Hey, why'd they turn Grimace into Patrick the Eggplant?
Ronald, I can't watch any more TV. No, it's scary.
Maybe this is what happens when you eat Burger King in this universe.
Every channel I turn to is movies with vampires and monsters and baby dogs.
Never thought I'd see the day when Ronald McDonald gives a look like Christ. I need new friends.
Meet us at the car as soon as you can.
He invites Grimace to come camping as well as Ronald starts to get ready.
Hey, Sunday, can you find that new flashlight we were working on?
Okay, Ronald.
You did say flashlight, right? Don't give me that look. Tell me you couldn't see something like that hanging around this place.
You will never believe it.
What, Birdie?
I'm certain a spaceship came down.
Did everybody get the Lawnmower Man treatment?
Aliens, Ronald. Aliens. It was here 1 minute and gone the next.
I told you, stop taking the Joe Rogan experience so seriously.
Let's see how that new tent and a flashlight invention works.
Their flashlight tent doesn't work that great. Now the other tent with the other light worked interestingly, and they decide to head onward to adventure. Oh, thank God, now we can look as properly satanic as everyone else.
Hi, Ronald. Hi, Ronald.
We switch to animation as they ride through, man, again, a surprisingly mundane McDonald land. I don't know, like, look at these previous depictions of McDonald land.
Follow Ronald McDonald through the land of apple pie trees. Thick, shake volcanoes, you'll even find a French fry thatch.
That sounds awesome. It'd kill me before I'm 20, but what an amazing way to go. This town's just made out of colorful nose hair clippers. Not really that magical.
Thanks for having me along, Ronald. I've always wanted to go camping in Farflung Forest.
They make their way to the far-flung forest where Tika says a terrible phantom lurks.
A ghost that walks the night and preys on unsuspecting campers. And they get lost. Forever.
Don't worry, there's no way this phantom's anywhere near as frightening as every single one of you.
I've been camping in far-flung forest for years.
I haven't seen any phantom.
You are the Phantom. I'm sorry, I usually like this style before McDonald's characters. It's freaky. Ronald looks like one of those punching bag clowns became human, but somehow kept the same proportions.
What we need for the car is a good driving song.
They sing a song about camping, which I swear is the immigrant song from Led Zeppelin.
There's nothing like the great outdoors, and the far-flung forest is the best, of course.
We come from the land of ice and snow, from the midnight sun where the hot springs flow. And they finally arrive.
Thought you might need an extra body, Grimace.
Oh, sure. Hop in.
Something you might pick up on is that there's quite a few notable voice actors in this, including Kristen Cavanaugh as Birdie, Charlie Adler as Hamburglar, Kevin Michael Richardson as Grimace, and Pamela Adlon as a chicken McNugget? That's what they're supposed to be? Do I really want to think about what McNuggets look like before they're cooked? And what am I talking about? Depending on the location, that might be what they look like after they're cooked.
Squirrel!
Sunday chases after a squirrel, and whoa, take me rodent commando. I didn't know there were rodents who were adult calendar models, but I've been online long enough not to be surprised by it.
We've got another 3 hours till we make camp.
My poor delicate arches.
What Ronald says whenever he's kicked in the McNuggets. Hamburglar tries to trick Ronald into speeding things up by using his magic. Did you see the first 5 minutes? We don't need more McDonald time. And he tries using a bear call, summoning an actual one. He just spent an eternity in the Black Void where he's unable to die yet unable to live. Wacky adventure!
There's a lot of groundwork to cover, so let's get cracking.
They sing a song about setting up camp.
Time to set up camp.
From the lyricists of Wish. I mentioned their names, but they got enough death threats. But later that night it starts storming and they discover an old Gothic house. Yes, we're finally getting the McDonald's cinematic universe we all deserve! Ronald starts singing a song about what kind of people could be living in this house.
This place is creepy, but you gotta admit, we've got no choice on a night like this.
Tika got the same voice coach as Joaquin Phoenix from Joker 2. And I will admit, this house is pretty fun. This is where the Klasky Chupo style really shines. Everything has an Real Monsters feel to it, very Halloweenish.
It smells all musty and everything is dusty.
So a kitchen at, well, McDonald's. Oh my god, look at their design for Cosmic.
Let's see where those doors go.
They reach a series of doors when suddenly a floating head appears, offering them a riddle.
Never push and never pull. You're finished when your plate is full. Exercise your force of will.
$1 menu, that's a good bill. Stand on the drawing of a plate on a carpet, opening one of the doors. Yeah, gee, all this imagery is bizarrely making me hungry. How these cartoons get called commercials again? They enter a room where the walls start to close in and...
We'll be crushed!
Oh, that was anticlimactic. But I don't know, what was I expecting?
We'll be crushed!
Uh-oh, there's that bear again. Back to the dreamless sleep void. They get trapped in a hall of mirrors, but Ronald says if they just put their left hands on the left side of the wall, they'll eventually find their way out.
You might have to walk through the whole maze, but if you don't ever lift your hand from the wall, eventually you'll find your way out.
This might be the first Halloween anything that actually recommends following the man in creepy clown makeup.
It worked!
They move towards the way out, but the way out moves away from them. However, Grimace has an idea.
We can stop the walls from moving if we all just spread out in a circle.
Hey, that kind of justifies you being in this. They do exactly that, and the floating head congratulates them for making it further than anyone else.
You can beat me by pitting your brains against mine, and you get your friends back.
So this whole special is basically a Happy Meal box riddle tied in with the movies The Game and Saw.
What is it that the more you take away from it, the bigger it gets?
Life expectancy when not eating fast food.
I know, a restaurant. The more you take out...
Rigged.
Way too complicated. The answer is a hole!
Yeah, despite it obviously being a commercial, I did actually like her answer a little better. I mean, hey, they worked in that ad better than...
I'll get drive-through.
Oh man, I read that one on the bottom of a gum wrapper.
You make Happy Meals. They continue to get the riddles wrong until they get to Ronald.
What costs nothing but is worth everything? That one person can't own, but two people can share.
The answer is friendship!
Drat, I've been foiled by the greasy, oversalted power of love!
Lucky guess. No fun, no fun!
I like this mastermind is kind of a brat. Like you think you're going up against Darth Vader, but it's really Duck Vader.
It's a wire that leads to a TV camera.
Sunday finds a wire and they follow it to a room where the wizard is, the real mastermind is, a little boy named Franklin, who Tika is friends with. He's played by Alex D. Linz, weirdly typecast as boy genius who sets traps, but it turns out he's been using his dad's VR equipment.
Dad's a super genius. I'm gonna be like him someday.
I only use my work to help people.
As you can tell by my home clearly designed to give the impression of helping others. It turns out a lot of this, though, was Tika's idea.
Sorry I tricked you, Ronald, but I really wanted you to play the game. And I couldn't think of any other way.
I know I could have asked, but... now there's no second half to that. I could have just asked.
You still want to go camping?
Sure!
Anybody else?
Yeah! Were Ronald and Sunday killed on the carpet in between shots? I'm assuming there wasn't a ton of time for redraws, but that needed a redraw. Franklin expresses interest in going camping, too.
I'm sorry. Now can we go camping?
Sure, we need to burn someone for the fireplace. You'll do nicely. They all go camping and make their way back to the somehow more horrifying world of live action.
This is the same baby dinosaur that the scientist hatched in the first movie?
Right.
Are you sure you want to watch this before bedtime?
I think every parent asks their kid that before showing them this imagery.
With a friend like you, I'm not afraid of anything.
Except obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever else is hidden in the corner of the McDonald's menu.
This is your very own clown, Ronald McDonald. Hoping I'll see you next time, live and in person at McDonald's.
Wait, this was an ad? I thought this was an adaptation of Paradise Lost. And that was The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald Scared Silly. I didn't get that into it, but I don't think it's really meant for me. It's aimed at little kids who just want some recognizable characters bouncing around, and okay, despite being a long commercial for not the healthiest food, I think it works okay for what it is. The live action segments are a little annoying, speeding everything up, and sometimes the designs can be distracting, but when they get to the creepy house, I think it becomes creative enough with a lot of classic creepy house tropes. The characters are harmless, and for a short 40-minute adventure, I think it's perfectly serviceable. Again, for little kids. It might be an obvious ad, but given what I've grown up with, and considering it's around Halloween, I guess you could argue a lot of us are used to that, and every once in a while, there might just be the tiniest bit of charm to it. Happy Nostalgia-ween, everyone! Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a little bit more science to partake in. Mr. McCritic, I forgot to mention— oh my god, what's in that squirrel's army pants?!
I did it for science!